more time to take care of that upgrade.
Okay,
We
It's all
have to
right with
vote
me.
on that, Bill?
What's that?
Do we have to vote on that?
Well, if you approve the extension, I revised the permit with that new expiration date.
I would
Okay.
say go ahead as far as I'm concerned, or the board, if there's any dissent, just say so, otherwise go ahead.
No, I'm in favor.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
All right, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
Let's see. Next is Bellevue Road. Again, that's kind of holding pattern right now. I guess we got to decide if we want to speak to Kristen about filing in Worcester Housing Court, because I think we're going to need town council. I can double check with the court, but last time I was in with Lancaster, they did require representation.
all right, I will talk to Kristen to make sure she's aware of what the situation is and what the possible next steps are.
Yep, and I can double check with
See what
Worcester
she
on.
says.
I can double check with Worcester to see, if we don't need a town council, I can file at any time. So I'll
Okay,
double check with them.
all right.
Coburn Road, I assume the fence is up. I haven't heard any good news or bad news. So hopefully
There's
no news is
a,
good.
there's a section of fence and one return. I drove by there today. So if you're
Yep.
turning into the driveway, there's a fence along Coburn and then one section that goes in 90 degrees toward the
Yep.
gate. And I didn't see any other materials around, but I didn't look behind the fence, so I'm not 100% sure it's done or exactly how far they were intending to take that. So I would say let sleeping dogs lie, and I need to talk to Vaughn and some other things, so I will check with him and see how the rest of his plans are going.
Yeah, when you speak to Vaughn, ask him about moving the operation. The
Back.
goal was to have it done by license renewal, which I think is May, and he's aware of that verbally, but not in writing. But see what he has to say.
Okay, will do.
So Boylston Road, we'll skip that in case someone shows up for that.
Okay,
Oh, all right.
Well,
Sure.
unless you want Sue's quick trigger here.
wow.
I
hair
can
trigger.
explain it.
Okay.
So this is
Which house is that, Billy?
what's that?
What's the name on that house? Whose is that house?
Let's see. That is Norvold. It used to be one of the Nigel lots on the left if you're heading out of town.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that
okay, yeah,
field?
Yeah. Yes, yep.
Actually, if you shrink that just a bit, Sue, this is that looks good. Well, actually, maybe a little more. There you go. So you can see proposed geothermal wells in front of the house. Those two radius.
Yep.
You see that rectangle there over. That was the original reserve area. So the primary is that rectangle in the middle, and they'd like to put two geothermal boreholes there. So to do that, they had to relocate the reserve area, which would be the one that you see towards the top of the screen. So this plan is to
Oh, I
approve
see.
that
Yep.
relocation of the reserve, and technically to talk about the proposed closed loop geothermal if the board has any questions, because if they apply between meetings, I can issue the permit based on this plan.
We've allowed a couple of those already, right, Billy?
Yeah, the
One on-
closed loop are pretty straightforward. They do boreholes, they put their piping in, and then they fill the casing with material, so that there's no exchange there other than heat.
They pull the warm water out of the ground, run it through their heating
Yeah.
system, and then they dump it down the second well.
Well,
Is
the,
that
the, the
correct?
heat exchange, right, can turn that level temp into heat or to cold. Yep.
Right, either way, yes.
Yeah. It's
And
amazing.
those wells are typically in bedrock anyhow.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it's
Because
not actually a
that's where
public,
that's where you're gonna get the warmest water. I make that statement
Oh.
and I could stand corrected, but I believe that's accurate.
yeah. You witnessed the test holes for the other one, Billy?
I did. It was while I had
For the re-
COVID, so I'll never forget them.
I bet you do. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yep. I called everybody up and said, I've got COVID. We're outside. I'll mask up. And they said, let's move forward.
All right.
Very good. Would we have to vote on that, Billy?
Well, it's really just a reflection in the minutes that the plan relocating the reserve area is accepted. And, once I receive the application for geothermal, I could move forward with the permit.
Okay,
I don't see any issues.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I'd say move ahead.
And they can't be used as a, just a question, as a public supply,
No.
Billy, or could?
Nope.
Could.
Again,
would have to?
these wells, these boreholes actually do not pull water in or out. These boreholes
yeah.
contain the piping that contains the glycol material that
that's
runs
right.
through the heat exchange.
Yeah.
And
So
the
all they're
glycol
doing
gets heated up by the
Yeah.
subterranean heat. Yeah.
Now I remember.
They're running
yes.
that material through that column to cool it or to heat it, because you get that constant temp once you're so far deep in the ground. And they use that
Yep.
through the heat exchange. Yep.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
So again,
Housekeeping.
if the folks show up for geothermal, we'll talk to them. If not, we'll call that a go.
Well,
Okay.
no one yet.
So that brings us to 2022 Campbell
Campbell
Road. I
Road.
forwarded the email to the board probably a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What we've got is a duplex up at Highland Ridge, and we've got one side occupied, and we've got the affordable unit on the other side not occupied. And the claim is that the unoccupied unit is creating a rodent problem for the one that is occupied.
is it finished, Billy?
I don't know the answer to that. I assume it is, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But the problem I run into is the housing code says if you're in a single unit, it's the occupant's responsibility to exterminate rodents or insects. So,
Well,
I guess the tenant, the occupant's claim is that the management company really isn't being that helpful. They keep claiming they've got an exterminator, which I think they do, but obviously the person that's living in the unit, their exterminator is kind of singing a different tune.
Okay.
I hate to say this, but I have had pretty good success using the electronic pest repellents that you plug into an AC
Really?
outlet, and the
I have
rodents go away.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, there might be $20 to $40 for a couple of them. They're readily available, box stores, online, whatever.
Yeah,
And if the adjacent property is unoccupied, I don't know, if it was me, I'd dip into my pocket. I know those places aren't cheap, and I wouldn't want to have
Yeah.
rodents scratching in the wall or the ceiling
Yes.
either. But if it's about taking some action on your own when you're not getting results otherwise.
Right.
And it really falls upon the management company or ownership of that project, I would think. Because it's not a landfill, there's nothing like that around, it's just
Yeah.
little
critters looking for some warmth.
Yes. Well, I'll make that recommendation. Route 12.
And
Auto-
if they want, then they can back charge, whoever they bought the property from, and good luck to them.
Right.
You know, that's getting down into the weeds for us. It's not like it's an old building
Right.
with this huge manifestation of rodents or whatever. It's kind of like, hello, folks, this is 2023. There are things that we can take on ourselves. That might be a bit harsh, but oh well.
All right, Route 12 Auto, I guess we'll sit tight because I don't see anybody on for that. A little bit surprised at.
Nope. He
That's
asked me what
basically-
time, I told him.
Yeah, I emailed 7 o'clock also.
That's basically a no, though, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct, but we have-
No potable water, no septic, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like,
That'd open a door, huh?
it's like trying to buy an island on a highway and saying you want to do something with it, you know?
Right. Well, an island is probably bigger, Paul.
Yeah, it probably is, Bobby, because that's not a big piece, that's not a big piece of flat surface there.
No, it's not at all.
All right,
And
well,
I say,
again,
you know.
the
you
board
let
has expressed their
one do it,
opinion
There'll be,
when we
there'll be
looked at
one
the
to drop,
plan. Informationally. Again, he was coming in to kind of state his case, so if we don't see him, we'll
Yeah.
stay with that opinion.
Right, okay.
So I have a couple on here for ZBA comments. I don't know that they're asking yet, but I've seen the applications. 275 Central Street, is that house just beyond the mobile station, right at the on-ramp to 495?
The little
Right
green
up-
one on the right?
Up sits
Mo's?
up on the hill next to Taylor Road.
Yeah, the guy who wants
Oh,
to open that as an office of some
Yes.
kind.
So we approved
Taylor's?
Yeah, Taylor's.
a septic system, say with an existing 3-bedroom dwelling, that's all set. If they're gonna use it for office space, and I told the engineer this quite a while ago, they need a 2-compartment tank, and we'd have to have some revised design calculations done. I don't see it as an
Yeah.
issue, but that's what we would require. So I don't know that we're being
Okay.
officially asked for comments, but when we are, that's really all I see as an issue.
Have they reached out to you at all lately, Bill?
No, I've only seen, again, what we get on our desk is the application, I think, for
Okay,
a hearing. So I'm hoping that ZBA would ask for official comments when that time comes.
all right.
Have we heard anything about where Mo's was located, Bill, at all?
Not a peep.
No, yeah.
I
People
saw
look at that-
somebody there yesterday and they
Yeah,
put some stuff out on the porch, so I don't know.
yeah, I
People,
saw a van there a little bit, people in and
people
out.
have expressed interest in that property, but when they realize what they cannot do based on zoning, they usually walk
Oh, I
away.
see. Right, right.
You know, there's people that want to do a lot more there than they can, and hopefully
Yeah,
they're doing
yeah.
that research before they buy.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Just hate seeing that old barn just keep going to
Yeah.
heck. When
Oh.
Cotting's owned that was just a beautiful, that had painted every other year. It was just gorgeous, but
Well, that's just a real classic, at one point pristine New England property. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
just,
yeah,
it's a shame to see it go down.
it is, it is.
100 Carter Street, same deal. Looks like they're just expanding the garage use there, but again, if asked for comments, we would, but I didn't see really any issue there if they're just expanding garage space.
Yeah, I got the certified letter from Dillis and Roy today myself.
Yeah,
You probably know
Um,
more than I do then.
right.
It
I
looks
looked at
like, it looks like they want to put an addition off the back of that, their existing building, and
Yes,
I certainly don't see any issues, and I know that septic system was upgraded by Paul Wheeler sometime within the last 10 years.
correct.
Right. I think he wants to put a lot of his vehicles in the garage, Billy, and keep some of it, or everybody, and keep some of the stuff out of the, out of the parking lot.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm saying. A garage use
be-
doesn't increase flow on septic, so I don't see an issue.
Be able to, store some stuff and keep it inside.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see how it affects anything in the neighborhood. I can't speak for the neighbors, but it looks
Yeah.
pretty innocuous.
Yep. there's
Permits,
two-
Highland
there's-
Liquors?
Well, there's actually two more discussion topics.
Oh, okay.
That didn't make it on. We got a late, I don't know if you saw that email about the complaint about the growing room, the daycare down
Oh,
at the
yes,
Rotary.
yes.
Yeah,
We don't license daycare, so I forwarded that to the state agency that does. And I have heard back from them that they will investigate the complaint. So far, that's where we're at.
So
I
you
also
did, you
emailed-
did hear back from them?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Okay,
It's a woman, Ann Cosgrove, that works for EEC, which is Division or Department of Early Education and Child Care. So they're gonna follow up on the complaint, and I also emailed the complainant and said that I had forwarded it to that state agency, so
okay.
we'll see what transpires. I just asked her to keep us in the loop.
okay.
Good, all right.
And then I didn't know if the board wanted to discuss the Lancaster Road lot, which we do have that continued hearing coming up on March 7th. Paul did meet with me
I think
today and look at the
I think
plan.
it's appropriate that we kick it around a little bit.
Is that the
I've-
220 Lancaster Road?
No, that's a permit that's ready to roll, but the lot 11 Lancaster Road was the plan we had there last meeting with Chris Hansen and Seth LaJoy.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna say they defied some, what I would call logic. They didn't access themselves to your files, Bill. We're not charged with, correcting other people's judgment. And they've submitted what they've submitted from an engineer, who is in many regards probably better versed than any member of this board. As far as I'm concerned, the ball is still in their court. I'm not currently seeing that they're going to be able to accomplish what they want with the plan that was submitted.
Right.
That's the wetlands variance is not one that I think this board should consider varying. I think Concom would back us up on that. They weren't as
I mean-
vocal as I would have liked at last meeting, but I understand that.
No, I agree with you, Paul. And I mean, with our new, the rules changed, it made it even easier, but yet they're still not within those, so. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean, our rules change, got rid of some fairly
Little bit of
simplistic variances that are not
Right.
critical to, I'll call it water welfare, in the town.
Right,
And that's really what we're charged with. We need to pay attention to that. And I looked at the plans this morning. I know you did as well, Bobby.
yeah,
I didn't see any wiggle room, it's gonna take maybe an engineer can figure something out, but.
right, that's what I
it's-
figure is.
The givens with the wetlands are just too real. I mean, they've been identified and, I feel bad for the folks, but unless somebody pulls kind of a rabbit out of a hat, we'll deal with this at next
Well,
meeting, but
Yeah,
Sue.
if they could move the house
I
or
have
something.
a real stupid question. I excel in these. hap-
No, you don't.
What happens if they came and said, okay, we just want to put in a tight tank and pump it every 2 months?
I
Not
don't think
allowed.
that's allowed, is it, Billy?
Nope, tight tanks are only a last resort for an existing home, so that you cannot use them for any new flow. For example, the restaurant, you got an existing situation that can't be remedied by a normal system, even with
Right.
variances, then you
Yeah.
use a tight tank, but absolutely not for new construction.
Yep.
Yeah. And,
Well,
I mean,
Just
maybe they
wanted to
could,
rule it out.
yeah,
We did.
maybe they could move the house around or like Paul says, have that engineer work on it and get something, but right now, it doesn't pass the test.
Yeah, the
But
problem is there's,
all of that is on them. It is
Yes.
not on us.
Yeah, oh,
Our
yeah,
charge
definitely.
is, these are the rules and regs.
Yeah,
We're not
I
here
agree.
to solve somebody else's problems. I mean, we
No,
work with
exactly.
people
It's-
certainly, but, and that's
That's between us.
traditionally in a repair situation. When it comes to new construction, hey, guys, make it
yeah.
work.
It's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all.
no, we're not engineers for sure, and it's on their back to do it, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't know if there's anything more to be said on that, but at next meeting, we will
Yeah.
obviously continue this hearing, bring it up for any further discussion, give the Hansons an opportunity to, present their case again, and then we're gonna be in a position to go ahead and vote,
Okay,
unless you see something else, Bill, that I'm not.
I do not.
Okay,
Like I said, there's just such a small area there that's 100 feet from the wetlands.
yeah.
I just, again, I think if there was something that would fit their primary reserve, it would be before us.
Yeah, or would have been before us 10 years ago.
Yes,
yeah. well,
Correct.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
that jumps down to permits.
yep.
So we've got the Highland Liquors tobacco sales, which Paul was good enough to sign today. So I've got that held till tonight's meeting. The board approves it. I will get that processed. So that's, I think I sent
yeah.
out 5 letters. So that's 1 down. So we still have about 4 left that still owe.
yeah, they probably do a pretty lucrative business down there with tobacco.
Yeah, I think they do
Highland.
cigars, I think was their goal.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yep.
okay. We have to vote on that one, Bill?
No, just again,
No.
as long as it's in the minutes as approved.
Okay,
I have no problem.
next is Highland Commons.
That's
Oh.
the one.
That was Highland Commons.
Yep. So next would be 220 Lancaster Road, which I think you have a plan on.
Now, see, you're asking for too much.
Where's that one, Billy? Way up?
It's right towards the Bolton line, the one that Mark Rhodes put a second floor on there. That
Oh,
ran
yeah,
on the left.
yeah. Huh. Is it, yeah, okay. I didn't know he
Right
did
on,
that.
right on the line, is that the one that?
Well,
Yeah,
it's not truly, there's truly a house that's on the line. This is probably one
Right.
before that, I think.
Now, who would have said that, Bill?
didn't he own Fontini's or something like that?
No, that's across the street.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry.
That would have been Seth Donahoe or Jack Maloney from Dillis and Roy.
Is this the house that Berlin Auto Service bought?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There
Exactly.
it is.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right, yeah. That's
Fred.
right.
I got
Yeah.
him. Hold on. Bringing him up.
That's what it is.
You can't see it yet, so I bet.
I didn't realize we had a Zoom channel 1.
Me either.
I'm glad we only have 1.
We have a couple of Zoom channels. Okay. You all see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So there you've got the house, well, and existing tank, and that clouded area is the existing leach area. For them to move forward with the addition, the second floor, they had to put a 3-bedroom deed restriction on the property, and the Title V inspection required a septic tank and D-box upgrade. Now the owner would like to put a pool in, which is going to fall roughly where the existing tank and leach area is. So this is soil testing, and a 3 trench system that will allow that pool to be installed. It actually increases the bedrooms to 4 from 3.
Yeah,
And it's a
that's
fully
what I wondered,
compliant
yeah.
system. Primary and reserve meets Title V and Berlin's regs.
Is
Looks
the
good to me.
pool that squiggly oblong?
No, that's the existing leach area, but oddly
Oh.
enough, that's probably where the pool's gonna end up too.
All right,
Right.
so it's a brown water pool.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Lagoon, yep.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
Fred.
goodness.
No.
Yeah, right. Now, it looks pretty like a decent system too, huh, Billy?
Yeah, so everything gets away from that area. It's all nice, deep, dry sand and gravel there, so it's really a
Yeah,
simple upgrade.
the wells out front.
Yeah, that's been, if you notice, the casing's been raised. We'll do a water quality test as
Right.
part of this installation. So yeah, it's actually quite an improvement on the property.
Yeah, my experience, and I don't know him real well, but he's a neighbor, and just being next door to his business, I have no experience other than that he likes to do things correctly. So,
That's what I've been told by the folks working on site for him, yes.
oh, is that right? Yeah,
Yep.
good. No, he's not a shortcut guy. You know.
Nope.
No,
Whatever
no,
it takes,
I
he'll
don't
do
think so. I agree, Paul.
Okay. So we approve that permit?
Yep, plan approved. I will draft a permit and sign it for the board.
Okay, that would be
Very good.
great.
So that brings us to Title V inspections. So we finally got our 19 South Street. We've been chasing that one for a bit. And it did
Oh, yeah.
pass, but it does need a septic tank and a D-box replacement. So we'll be seeing an application for that work at some point from Paul Wheeler, probably.
19 South Street. Hmm.
Yep, that's the
I
old
think-
Renzoni, the
Oh,
architect.
okay.
Yep,
Okay, yeah. That
And
looks
then-
like an interesting lot.
unfortunately, it's a lot of ledge. It's a very,
A lot of ledge, yes.
it's a very, it's a tight spot there where the existing system is, and that's about the only spot. So yes. So luckily it passed,
Yep.
but does need that component replacement.
That house had to have been built, many years ago.
It was the Cadigan built that in the sixties, Paul, originally.
60s, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, they owned the town field. They put up one part of those barns across the street.
Okay.
Originally was South
Yeah.
Commons.
What do we have at 163A River Road?
Yeah, and that is a pass.
No, that's a pass, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Is that a duplex, Billy, or no?
I don't think so. I think it's just the way the numbering system ended up towards the Hudson line.
Oh, right, right.
So that's all.
I know, speaking of Whitney Road, Sue and I made it out to look at the mat system,
Geo map.
the geomat. That was kind of an interesting observation.
I got
Interesting.
your text, Billy. I just got to the center of Fitchburg when you sent it. That you added there. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not gonna race.
You'll see him again. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's
They're so
quite
low
interesting.
profile.
Yeah,
That's the key.
that- yeah.
Like I say, time will tell. They're relatively new. So again, it doesn't really have a track record yet, but it is approved by the state, so it is allowed.
Didn't Richard
Yeah.
Hanks put one in recently?
Oh, I hadn't heard him talk about that. Maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know he was looking into that probably early last summer because
Okay.
he was involved in a project north of here.
Yeah.
And there was a big oak tree or maple tree or something that he really did not want to disturb.
Yep.
And that's what turned him on to the mat system. That
Well,
You
again,
can
so
work
this is a
around
40% reduction in horizontal footprint. Again,
What
your
percentage?
profile, a 40%.
40, wow.
Like if that was going to be a stone and pipe bed, it would be 40% larger, horizontally, length and width.
Yeah.
It's got an 1.5 inch profile, so your
Yeah.
height is minimized. And the key is on upgrades, you can use it with a 2-foot groundwater offset. So you're really minimizing that mound height.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
And it cuts
So we're
down
gonna
on
see more of
square
those.
footage.
I can think of a half a dozen places in town that would have benefited from that.
Oh, yeah. The first one I
Oh,
looked at
yeah.
in Stowe, the neighbors' yards with a typical burial mounds, 3-4 feet high.
Right.
This guy's yard came up 6 inches. So aesthetically and cost, we'll see more of these for upgrades, I think.
Right.
The sand is expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
Whitney, they told us it was $11,000 worth of sand.
Wow.
Yep.
Where's it all coming from, up north, Billy, they say, or down the Cape, or one of the
Well,
other?
it's
New
it's further
Hampshire
and
was
further
one
away.
source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I
Not
said,
a
wow.
lot of sources. So, if you've got that
We're
kind of
running
sand
out.
pit, you can retire.
Yeah, local
Yeah.
pits don't exist any longer. They've been, completely
No, they've been-
extinguished. So,
Yeah, pretty much extinguished.
yep.
All right.
All
Bill, do
Bill's
you have
stuff.
anything? I'm sorry, Sue, go ahead.
I said, that's all of Bill's stuff.
Yes.
All right.
How are things running down at the transfer station?
Well, if we're done with Bill, we can cut
okay,
him loose. He
certainly.
doesn't have to
No,
listen to our transfer station woes or joys or whatever.
he's
they
got a
are.
week off.
Well, half a week. Well, I
Yeah.
guess Route 12 Auto's not showing up.
No, no,
No, yeah, what do we do about that? Do we hang in? I mean, I don't want to keep you
Well,
hanging, Bill. I mean,
I emailed him 7
7:30.
p.m. and I think Sue did too. Why he's not here, I don't know. He'll certainly have the ability to come into a future meeting if he chooses to.
all right, I think that's, we're
Yeah,
not gonna alter our schedule. He's either needs to be involved at an appropriate time or, next meeting. I mean,
Yes,
this
and
thing-
I
this
think the
thing's been
board's-
going on for a year or more, so.
And the
Right.
board's opinion stands. Again, it's just his opportunity to state his case. I
Right,
can't imagine
right,
that's going
right.
to change anything, but that's at least give that opportunity. So, if I hear from him, I'll let Sue know, and we'll get him on the next
somebody's
meeting.
on the phone.
Uh-oh,
There wasn't a hearing, right? Billy?
no.
I've
Nine-
asked them to unmute. If you're there on the phone, please unmute. If you can hear us.
Can we unmute them? No. Oh, there they go.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello,
Hi,
who is this?
Hi,
this is Luis Santos.
Luis
hi,
Santos.
Luis.
Okay,
Regard Old Central Street.
Okay, we've been waiting for you, so you can go ahead and tell us what's on your mind.
Sure. Well, as you guys are aware, working on with I got the site plan done and sent out to each department, and trying to put a car dealer in there at the parcel land that I own.
Yes,
So you had this plan from, I think, January 3rd or something. I don't know if that's an option to pull up, but this is the old Central Street proposal where there's a portable toilet proposed for sanitary facilities for this office for the auto dealership.
I'm gonna go looking. You said January 12th, Bill?
I think
Yeah.
it was the 3rd, maybe.
I saw the plan a couple times, so we have it.
Yeah,
somewhere
we
maybe.
looked at it that night, but Luis, maybe you can explain to the board, what you're proposing. Again, Richard Hanks did issue a letter stating that the plumbing code requires, facilities for employees, hot and cold water. And they indicated that a variance from the state plumbing board would be required. I don't know if you've investigated that or not.
Well, I don't plan on having any employees. Business is going to be conducted by appointments.
But there is an office shown on the plan.
Correct.
So during these appointments, that office would have an employee.
And customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I found it. Let me bring it up for you guys.
Good job, Sue.
Yeah.
You guys like to challenge me.
You always rise to the challenge, Sue.
I was just gonna say, you sure do.
3 sets of plans in one night.
Wow.
Okay,
So that is the same plan. Yes.
Yep, so that's that area on the right at the cul-de-sac there at Old Central Street, just before 495.
Right.
Right.
And it does indicate an 8 by, is that 8 by 16 or 19 wood frame office?
Right. Well, I think, in my mind, you have to have a septic and a well to run that business.
Uh-huh.
That's my opinion. But under the rules of Berlin right now.
How many flat square feet do you think you're gonna have, Louis?
How many? What was your question again? How many what?
How many square feet of flat surface are you gonna have to operate your proposed business?
Let me open it here. I think there was about 8,000 square feet. 8 or 10, give it or take.
Well, in a case like this, there might not be any give or take. You're trying to do something on a very, very limited parcel. And to run a business in this town, according to zoning and Board of Health regulations, right now, you don't apparently have space for any kind of septic system or well that you would actually need to do what you want to do. I mean, we don't change our rules and regulations based on the size of a parcel of land or anything like that. We have regulations that are fairly definitive, and people need to keep that in mind when they're pursuing an objective. That you can't back into this. You need to know up front whether you can do it or not. And right now, we don't have answers that work for us relative to water supply or sanitary services.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just trying to make the place, a little bit better, than next door, which is
Right.
burned down and wide open, I don't know if they have. any
Understood, but
quote.
there are still rules and regulations for a dwelling, for a business. Just because your neighbor is a rat trap doesn't mean that if you're offering something better, that it's okay. Every individual parcel needs to be looked at for what it offers, what it can offer, and that's where we have to come from. We don't make these up, these rules and regulations meeting by meeting. They've been in the books for years, decades, and they're available for anybody to check out.
Sounds good.
Your engineering, so far looks great, but you just don't have the offsets or the room, Louis, right now.
Yeah, for anything, right? It's very
Well,
much
for
just
septic and
an-
I
Thank you very much,
don't know
Mr.
by
Vacant lot.
zoning if you could park anything there, but as for a business and office, you have to have the facilities permanent.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kick this back to the planning board and the zoning board of appeals. You approach them and you tell them what you have for space, and maybe they can help you figure out what you can do. But from a Board of Health standpoint, there isn't much that works. There isn't anything that works, frankly.
All right.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't change regulations from one situation to another. We are consistent, whether it's your property or property belonging to Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. Same.
Uh-huh. Sure.
I don't know if there's anything we can really help you with tonight. I mean, sorry to give you the bad news, but as it stands right now, there's nothing that we are able to permit for this space, for this property.
Uh-huh. Okay, like you said, not even parking.
Well, I don't think I
we don't-
said that.
we
I
don't
think
know
I
that.
said that, and that may be a possibility, but that's not up to us. That's zoning board and zoning board of appeals. You have to talk to those folks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right then. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right, Louis, good luck.
Good night. Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Gotta love it.
Well, Paul, you mentioned parking. That, the problem we're facing is there's an office shown on that plan. There's an employee parking spot. So that's inferring there's gonna be an employee there. That's
Okay,
what triggers it. If there's cars parked there,
right.
once you put an office there and an employee, that's what's triggering the need through the plumbing code for
Right.
facilities. And once facilities are required, that kicks it to us for
Right.
approval.
Hey, like you say, let them chase the, maybe the neighbor and acquire and still do your due diligence because,
That's solving somebody else's problem. He has to take this.
oh, it isn't
and-
up to us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to talk about it.
No,
They, people that come to us should have their homework done. Yeah, occasionally we give advice, but
oh, no, I'm not giving him advice. I'm speaking amongst us.
I get that, all right.
But I think Paul makes a good point. Here's somebody that purchased a parcel
Right. Exactly.
before they knew that they could do or not do what they want to do with it.
That's two tonight.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
And if you go to Mo's property, which we're not dealing with tonight, that's another one.
Yeah, we
geez,
might be hearing that song again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay,
that's a gateway to Berlin. That one's a little more interesting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right, right. Um,
All right, I don't have anything more for Bill, Stu, Bobby, anything, and Bill, anything for
I'm
us?
all set, Billy.
Nope.
Have a great vacation, Billy.
All right. If I don't talk to you, we'll see you on the 7th.
Very
all
good.
right.
Okay, Bill.
Have a good
thank you.
night.
Okay. Bob asked about the transfer station.
Just to
can-
catch up.
We
What's,
just
what's the
can't-
transfer station?
Yeah,
I mean, the place where we've been living for the last 4
Oh,
weeks.
that place. Okay, yeah.
I've heard great comments about Stan, that he's very helpful and
Oh, yeah, we scored
he's-
there. We really did.
yeah, several people gave good comments.
However, Stan has COVID.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, now it started with symptoms last Friday, so he's on a minimum 5-day isolation. And if his symptoms start to dissipate, he can go to 5 days of masking, but he needs to get retested. He needs to retest himself tomorrow and see where it is. So right now, we're not planning on Stan this week, and he was in the plans for this week, but we can't count on it.
We do have another candidate I'd like to mention because the board needs to vote to hire him,
mhm,
and that is Ed Bradley.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
And
Uh.
so I am gonna make a motion that the board approve the hiring of Ed Bradley so we can get his paperwork filled out and get him in as soon as possible.
Ed's a
I
hard
was-
worker.
I will second that emotion.
Thank you.
Motion, not emotion, motion, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
okay, good. We will get hold of Eddie and see if we can get him in there on Saturday. I think he'll be, it's gonna be an alternating every other Saturday, but I think he'll be a big plus in terms of helping us with the bottle and can redemption, because he knows that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you show
one
him
of
what
the
to do, he's
things
a
that-
hard, he's a
one of the
very hard
things that
worker.
Sue and I and Stan and I have found out that people are throwing away a lot of nickels. And we're
Yeah.
separating them at the shed. And it doesn't look like that's gonna abate at all, so, and Stan with his finance background, he's kind of tuned into what we can tweak down there as he learns more.
Yeah.
And I think that's just huge for the Board of Health.
Sure.
For those,
And most importantly, he's enjoying it. Go ahead, Sue, sorry.
for
Good.
those of you who have a computer, if you Google Boston 25 News, they had a segment on today, and it's still
I s-
on their website.
Oh,
I
is it?
saw it.
Okay.
Recycling.
Yep.
And what I really got out of that, they showed like a big processing plant
Yeah.
processing.
Mhm.
And that's not on the clip. That was on this morning's clip. But one of the sayings that I loved today that I want to print out and laminate is if in doubt, throw it out. Don't
Yep.
recycle it. Because that was one of the biggest messages. And they talked about tanglers, plastic bags, wraps,
Yeah.
bubble wrap, hangers. People try to recycle. And they said,
Yeah.
keep that stuff out, even if it's plastic. That's a tangler. That
So
tangler.
plastic
Years.
plastic hangers,
Yeah.
plastic
Yep.
hangers are tangler, okay.
Yeah.
And
We
those
do see those
plastic
down there.
bags.
Okay, good.
So they went through a couple of boxes of such a trash and they sorted it and said, no, yes. And so I thought it was cute, but I
It
like
was.
the video of the processing plant. Because once you see all those little gears in rollers going, you
Ah,
understand why that
it's-
shit gets
Right.
tangled.
Right, right.
Well,
Um,
was it Stephen DiPaolo, Paul, told us that was a big problem they had with,
Hmm.
sorting with those, the plastic was getting, it really made a mess for them.
They can sort, DePaulo doesn't do the sorting, but where they bring it, they do, and
Yeah,
that creates an issue, and at some point, it's gonna filter back to us in more cost, so.
yeah.
One of the
that's-
things we found out working there, Sue and myself and Stan, is how little our public really knows about recycling and the proper way to recycle. So we've got a lot of work to do in terms of drawing up cheat sheets, whatever you want to call it, to bring the people up to speed. I had a conversation with a lady last night that didn't realize there was a difference in tin cans. A tin can versus an aluminum can.
Right.
We get paid for tin cans. We can get paid for aluminum cans if they're deposit.
Right.
and a lot of pet food cans are aluminum, and right now
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to separate them. We just send them to the single stream and let them deal with it. But we need to do a deep dive into all of this stuff. The less contaminated the load, the better the relationship we may have with the end, where it ends up, and maybe helps us out cost effectively, like the glass
Right.
container. A lot of wine bottles with corks, glass jars with metal caps. I mean,
Really?
those things
Yeah.
aren't glass. But people don't think about that because they don't understand recycling. It's not the people's fault. It falls upon us to help educate them. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
should
put away at
we
that.
make up a bigger brochure, Paul, for when they get a sticker and hand them a brochure?
No, we're gonna
I think-
be doing stuff before that, and we might. I don't know. It's not
Needs to be more
formulated yet,
hands-on,
but
Bob.
what's that,
we
Sue?
need, it's more hands-on. We need to have conversations with people
Yeah,
and teach them. So
Coaching.
as they're emptying out their buckets, into the barrels, we're sitting there saying, oh, no, that doesn't belong here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Common
Well-
we do
response.
it in a nice way, but
right, yes.
we're not
I don't
yelling
bel-
at
Yeah, I don't believe anybody ever got an education except for the bad one down there,
Mhm.
when they were trying to put trash in,
Right.
Okay, I have one more thing I'd like to bring up. We interviewed a person named Steve Penny. That both Paul and Stan would like to take a chance on and make an offer as a Saturday attendant type job. I'm iffy
I-
on how well he's gonna work, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I'm getting tired of working down there.
I didn't realize you
Paul
guys
has
were down there.
done- Pardon?
I didn't realize you guys were there still, actually.
Well,
Well,
Paul's-
somebody's got to be there.
Where, where is,
Like 6 days a week, trying to clean
Where-
up and paint and everything else.
where is the person from, Sue? Is he local?
Stephen
Clinton.
Penny is
He just
from,
moved
Yeah.
into Clinton this past weekend from Lancaster.
Yeah.
He has a couple jobs going on right now. He works as a school custodian, I think in Harvard. He works a couple nights a week at a homeless shelter. I also found out that he had donated some time this past fall at 19 Carter doing yard cleanup.
Very good,
So
yeah.
those kinds of things, to me, are a good sign of somebody who has some sense of doing right. I don't know how
Yep.
else to say it.
Yeah.
Everybody's on a 90-day trial. Nobody's beating our door down. I
Yeah,
think he would
that's
be
the problem.
fine. What's that?
that's the problem. We're trying to hire people with barely over minimum wage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Yep.
And if you're handling trash in the cold and in the hot. So I will make a motion for the board to approve the hiring of Stephen Penny. And as soon as we can get him on, we gotta, again, chase the paperwork and all that crap. It's
We
real.
have to send it, we have to send them an offer letter, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out where he would go to get a doctor,
Yep.
because the
Oh,
other
yeah, yeah.
two didn't have to get reimbursed for that. Or the town
Right,
will
well,
have to.
if
arrange for it.
if he's had a recent physical, that'll work. Otherwise,
He does not have a current doctor and he's gonna have to go find one. So
or
that's
go,
why,
or go to the facility in Hudson. That just needs to be straightened away with the selectman's office that we pay.
yep.
There's a-
I'm gonna-
There's
Work on
a
that.
doctor in Clinton, Paul, that does DOTs and basic physicals,
Yeah,
over
but
there.
it goes
Dr.
beyond that, Bobby. It's what doctor has a relationship with the town that will accept somebody to do a physical and then bill the town. I mean, there are plenty of doctors
Oh.
out there that'll do a
Oh,
physical.
I see, yeah.
There's
Well,
paperwork.
it was, yeah, I was
There's
just saying,
paperwork.
And Bob, the
Dr. Mitchell,
paperwork is
he
this
does-
thick.
yeah,
It's,
they do it.
It's no,
But
I
he-
mean, just to get somebody hired these days, the paperwork is in a folder.
Yeah,
that's
whatever,
this
yeah. He does DOTs for the state. He's a state, what do you call it?
yeah, well, whatever. We don't
It's who
need,
does
we don't need the DOT. We just need a standard physical.
Well, that's
Um,
basically what it is, so.
I'm making a motion to
I'll
that the
second
board
it.
approve the hiring. Thank you. Paul, you want to do a roll call?
Sure. All in favor? Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Paul, I as well. Couple other matters down there. We haven't been able to use compactor one for several weeks because of control issues. We've had Chip Duran looking at it. It's been a flaky thing. One day it works, another day it doesn't. I saw Chip today. He and I sat down. He's been in contact with the maker of that compactor and was asking me if he could go ahead and order a new set of controls. And I said, absolutely. And the controls are like $655 plus freight. And then there's
Oh, we're
going to be.
just gonna sell Bobby's body to get that money. to cover it.
and,
Yeah, right. I just got evened out. Okay.
And then, of course, there's Chip's time, but this may in fact eliminate this off and on again problem, which when you're trying to balance compactor loads and maximum efficiency, you got to have both units working, and having only one work
Oh, yeah, definitely.
is, self-defeating. That's why we put the second one in, and that's
Definitely.
worked well while they're both
Yeah.
working. And this is just one of those things where new controls,
Right.
something's gone awry with them.
Who, Paul,
I've also, we have a decent supply of 20-pound propane tanks down there. And the guy that used to take them, I don't know, has evaporated, hasn't showed up or called. So, I've talked to Framingham Salvage because I was told by former staff that they will take them, but they'll only take 4 or 5 in a load if the valves are removed. And
We're not gonna do that.
we've probably got 40 or 50 tanks down there. The guy I talked to today will take them. It just costs us $5 per tank to get rid of. We were spoiled. The previous guy would take them, remove the valves, he would cash in the scrap, and there was no exchange of money. So
Right.
this is looking to be a new line item expense for us.
right,
But we charge $15, so if
Right,
we have to
okay.
pay $5,
Yeah.
It's not gonna keep me awake at night. We're gonna continue to look and see if there are other alternatives.
I think that's a good idea.
You know,
We tried once, Paul, to, working for the town, under Denny, we tried to do it ourselves and we got in trouble with someone by, we weren't supposed to be taking, removing the valves by ourselves. So,
really,
the town, yeah, it was, yeah, we had started, it was working, but even made a jig to do it and we were told you can't do that.
Geez,
So-
another date and time, Bobby. I'd like to exchange names on that because I got a suspicion, but of who came down on that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but you may know
Oh.
more than I, but I remember we would.
I mean,
try to-
I've taken a valve off a couple tanks, and it's not
Oh.
easy. It's
No,
not
it's
easy
not.
at all. So if these guys will
Not-
do it, and they said
no, I have-
they said they'd drain the propane and they'd come and take the tanks, $5 each. Yahoo! I think that's something we're
that
gonna
works.
do, but I need to investigate that a little more.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, someone else might know more about it too, Paul, or what happened there. That's all. Because it was
The other
working.
thing- just to fill Bob in, we need to find a new source for stickers.
Okay,
Because
What-
in
the
really
other one
cold
just getting to
weather,
it.
these do fall off.
They do.
So, yeah. And, between trying to get people hired and interviewing and being down at the transfer station, Paul and I have been kind of up to our eyeballs. And then, we play catch up on Friday and Saturday. We're back at the transfer station again. So,
Where were you getting them, Sue?
I was having the last couple of years done at Clinton Offset,
Oh, yeah,
but he was probably buying the film, but when it gets really cold, they start dropping like flies. They fall right off
Yeah.
the vehicles.
And
Yeah, 'cause in
and
the
he was-
summer when
he-
you go-
give
they
him
start-
due. He was aware that we were losing some stickers, so I'm sure he looked into it. But at the end of the day, the problem continues. So
Bob, you once went and did a survey of the different transfer stations. I was wondering,
I did.
maybe you could contact the ones that were selling stickers and find out where they
where
get.
they
those
get
stickers
them, yeah, good idea.
okay. And I could ask what they do with their propane tanks also, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes,
We've got to do some digging. We need to kind of
Sure.
retool
Sticker.
our vendors as needed. I think things have been left
Yeah,
at a certain level for a long time, and it doesn't hurt. We may end up in the same place, but we need to look and
okay,
see if there are better options. That's all.
right. As with that, the electrical, Paul, and the controls, who installed and did our maintenance on those before? Was that through DePalo or was that
No, that was
through
through
BP?
East Coast Compactor that provided the
okay,
units. It
totally
was through
different.
DePaulo, but East Coast Compactor.
Whole different,
But they're based in New Hampshire, and I don't want to bring them
No,
down for a
no,
service
no.
charge.
no. Okay, now I see, I understand. Chip as well, he's good, so I have no issue. I just. didn't
Well,
know
I
what-
sat down with him today and had a candid conversation. I think he knows what we're looking for, and he
Sure,
seemed fine, and I'm fine with him, so.
certainly. Okay,
Other than that, I can't think of anything else that I have.
no, and I will see you tomorrow, Paul, at the transfer station.
Yes, you will. Bells on and whatever.
All right.
well, if I get a minute, I'll come down and check on you guys, see if you.
That's what we need, somebody checking on us. It gets warm in there. We like to kick back and
Oh,
relax
jeez.
like
No, we're
other
gonna
people.
put you
You're
through
you're
our
not gonna
training
start, you're not
program.
gonna start another town hall down there, are you, Paul?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, I got rid of one of the easy chairs and put in a chair that you kind of slide out of so visitors don't stay so long.
Good job.
Hey,
All right.
All
Well,
right,
I'm
all
here.
right, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:09 PM.
Okay, all in favor, we'll do a
Roll
roll
call.
call. Sue,
Aye.
Bobby,
Aye.
Paul, aye.